Oh, we're live.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's 12:01. Time to go live.
I gotta apologize to you guys up front, just so you know. I'm having work done on my house right now, so the dogs may go ballistic in the background, and I apologize up front. I'm just letting you know. So if you hear barking in the background,
So there's wait a minute, no. The unit next door to me is under construction.
Oh, fun. See, that's what happens when you do podcasts from your home and that kind of thing. And yes, I know there are professional podcasters out there that have everything all soundproofed and so on and so forth. And I'll get that done when we move. But right now, I'm concentrating on getting things going forward.
Wait, there's professionals at this?
Yeah.
I thought we were the professionals. You mean we're amateurs still?
Well, they have a lot more equipment than we do. I'm just saying. I mean, look at Tim. He's a professional. He's got the mic and the whole works. I'm a work in progress at this point.
No, I am not a professional. Okay. I cannot do things like switch from camera to camera like this. All right. And do things like, oops, wrong camera. Let's try that one there. Okay. There we go.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. All right. And we're back.
Yeah.
Switch microphones, all that stuff. Yeah.
And I'll switch cameras and go,
Whoop, there it is. Before we start, all right, though, I wanted to bring this up. I was actually looking at a Facebook post this morning, and I wished I would have saved it. Because I think God is creating some sort of orchestra or something up in heaven. Like, I mean, have you seen the people who have died this month?
I know.
The violinist from Kansas, the drummer from Slipknot, the guitarist from Cinderella,
and ZZ Top lost.
The ZZ Top bassist.
Yes, they lost somebody
all right.
too.
Like, if you look at this wait a minute, no, you look at the categories of music that, like, it's not like the only category that is untouched is country western.
I guess they last longer.
Apparently, God doesn't need any more rednecks in heaven right now.
Apparently,
apparently he has enough banjo players right now. He didn't take one, but he needed a good bass player. I'm telling you, he took, a good bass player, a damn good drummer with Slipknot.
I know.
All right,
and I'm sure Craig Duswalt is just so disheartened on that one because that was one of their favorite members of that group.
Well, I think that's his kid, one of his kids' favorite bands. And what's the other one that was the singer from another metal band is gone as well?
I can't remember that one.
Biz Markie, the rapper. All right, I'm like, so we've got rap, metal. All right, old fashioned poppy rock and roll and bluesy rock and roll, all together for one heck of a band this month.
I will say, right. They're having an orchestra up there. I mean, we've lost a lot of really, really good.
Eddie Van Halen basically said when he got there, he said, okay, listen, all right, I'm bringing the talent in heaven to a new thing. I'm going to need some extra players, God.
Yeah. So we're going to take him and him and him and maybe her and him and her. And okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we might add some more as we go along. I know it's sad.
And then, I mean, it's just, I know I'm into music, but I don't play an instrument. All right. But I really do love rock and roll music. I always have. I've loved good music. Cause I mean, I've got some good country western stuff and you know what I mean? Just, I see this. I mean, for me, Dusty Hill was big because I do know this, that being a Texan now, ZZ Top is the oldest band they were. All three members have been together since 1970.
Wow. What about the Rolling Stones?
Rolling Stones, all right. Not everyone that's in the band has been together that long.
You sure about
that? ZZ Top was the last original members band where all original members had been together since the early 70s. Okay.
That's right. The Rolling Stones, they changed out one of their players.
They changed out players, all right. And it's like you look at bands like, you know what I mean? Like I'm a fan of Styx. Styx got together in 1969. Styx is not. I mean, there's one original member from Styx left in there.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what I mean? There's a second rage of fans in there. But like, for the longest time, the Eagles had the two. Well, the Eagles have one original member left.
Yep.
All right. Rush. Rush was the second longest because they changed drummers in 1973 and Neil passed away a couple years ago. All right. So like to me, ZZ Top, I've always known that they are the oldest band because they are all three original members and all have been together since 1970. Like 1969, they all met and they really officially became a band in 1970. And literally, when they got their record album, they literally still had a gig scheduled to play a high school prom and still went and played it.
Wow. Good guys.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine being at that prom?
Oh my God. Picture.
Yeah.
Talk about a Facebook post.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was my biggest thing that I wanted to bring up this week because I really looked at that. All right. And went, wow, that's like, but then again, I read an article from Dennis DeYoung from Styx, and he talked about, why is it that everybody's into these 70-year-old bands? It's because nobody in the newer days of music is creating stuff that everybody wants to listen to for generations anymore.
I know. And a lot of it is repeat stuff.
It is.
You listen to it and it's like, wait a minute, that's a beat from this song, or wait a minute, that's the beginning of that song.
No, I'm not saying people, I think the last really great upstart of a band or singer was like Pink. My opinion.
Yeah, she's fabulous.
She's fabulous, and she can rock. She can still fill stadiums.
Oh my God,
she can still fill stadiums.
Love Pink.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'm gonna go see her in person. I love Pink.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of bands out there that I kept saying, you know what I mean? And this article I was reading about Dennis DeYoung, and he's talking about, I offered to come to the band let's do one last tour together. I don't want to rejoin the band, but let's do a tour together with all of us one last time. And the band apparently Tommy Shaw said no, but apparently the band said no. All right. And you think about that, after Eddie Van Halen has passed, I would be like, I'd want to think about that, because in the secret realms all of it came out after Eddie passed away was Wolfgang Van Halen was trying to put all of the members who've ever been in Van Halen together for a tour.
Yeah, you were saying that last time.
I would have paid $1,000 for that ticket.
I think maybe they're tired of touring and they're just tired. I don't know. And if you think about
Madeline Kahn from Blazing Saddles. I'm tired.
I'm tired. Let's face it, I'm pooped. So
everything below the waist is kaput.
If you think about it, though, I don't know if you saw this or not, but I saw it on the Comedy Channel through Noah Trevor, and he showed there's this singer, and I can't remember the guy's name. He put out this hit song that is like a #1 song, and he got $4,000 for it. That's it. Because of all the streaming out there for Apple and Spotify and Pandora and all the other ones, people are streaming it for pretty much next to nothing. Mm-hmm. And so these people that in the 70s and the 80s and so forth that started got millions and millions of dollars and had millions of fans. And now it's a hard thing, I think, for rock bands, pop, whatever, to try and get those rooms filled and those people there, because they can listen to it, on their streaming and so on and so forth. And they're not paying for it. Some people are, but the amount they're paying is such a small margin. Well, they're not really
this idea of a music membership for like Spotify and Apple, right? You know what I mean? Well, they're paying Apple. Well, great. All these songs are added into the membership. Why get it? And I forget what band I seen this, but as an interview a while ago, and they talked about, we did our first tour and we went out on tour and we came back. I might've been in Van Halen. We went out on tour and we came back after the first tour, and the record company said, okay, you owe us $3 million in a new record. And they're like, wait a minute, we just spent 2 years on tour. How do we owe you $3 million? And that's all right. There was a lot of weird deals in there. So basically the idea behind creating all these music things was to simplify it so the listener can get it. But now it's made so accessible that it is no longer a rare commodity and nobody wants to buy it.
No. And it makes, I didn't realize, I'm like the same person. I'm out there, why do I have to pay this much for a whole album? I mean, people don't buy albums anymore.
No.
They don't buy, a lot of them don't even buy CDs. They just listen on their streaming, or they go into YouTube, or, it's just, I didn't realize how little is being paid to that person who has worked so hard to get that song out there and work on that song and craft that song only to get $4,000.
Yeah.
It just blew me away when I saw that. And I thought, well, I know I'm just as guilty as the next person, but I didn't think about it on that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the industry has changed, but
yeah, big time. So
which I want to use that to segment into our first topic because
yeah.
really fits for branding and business.
Exactly.
And I noticed you put this on there. All right. And you actually put the question on there this week. Is it how do you find your brand and what even is a brand? I love that.
Yeah. Because a lot of people don't know. I mean, a lot of times when they look at a brand or something, they think it's just a logo.
Mhm.
That's not it. I mean, there's so much more to a brand than just a logo. You're looking at your colors, your fonts, you're looking at your content, you're looking at your audience. I mean, it's this whole package when it comes to a brand. And a lot of times people don't even know who their audience is. So if you don't know your audience, which we've talked about on the show a lot, if you don't know your audience, how are you going to even figure out what your brand is? So I think that's the number one thing you really have to figure out. And we've talked about it. And I still have said it over and over again. And I used to be just as guilty as the next person when they said this, but I hear it all the time. Who's your audience? Oh, everybody.
That's the number one sign that you are failing.
Yes,
I'm sorry, guys. That's the number one sign you're failing if you can't figure out who
not everybody. Because trust me, you cannot service 7.5 billion people because that's how many are out there. You can't do it. You can't.
But if I could service it, and I only charge a penny for my services, and all 7.5 billion had to give me a penny.
Oh my God, that would be awesome. But I mean, when you're getting into a brand, like I said, it's not just about that logo. There's so much more to it. And I think this is the hardest piece for a lot of business owners to really grasp and wrap their hands around and figure out, well, what is my brand? What does that look like?
Well, I mean, have you ever seen my talk on Simple Easy Branding?
Guiltily, no, I have not.
No. I talk about the very subject because most people come in and they're all worried about all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I actually come up with a concept. Why don't you build a brand? All right. Even if you got nothing, don't worry about the logo. Don't worry about it. Here's how to do, because here's what you're going to build for your brand. You ready for this? You are the brand.
Yes.
Take your phone every day and go live. Do a live stream from your phone every day, whatever your social media platform is, Facebook, Twitter. All right. Do a live stream every day about something for 30 days. After 30 days, look to see what people are what ones they're watching, what ones they're not.
Yes. And it will help you build your audience there too. Because now you're going to see who's liking it. Like you said, who is it, the gender, the area they're in, what they like, what they don't like. You can do.
Well, that's where I go into my second phase into it is day 2, the second 30 days, do videos of exactly what you got popular in the first 30 days. And then at the end of 60 days, now you look at who's watching.
Yeah.
Now, all right, you know who your audience is. Exactly. So the first one's just what's my message. The second one, what's my audience?
Yep.
The third thing, this is the weirdest thing, all right, because I know you have it down here for colors. What are the days that you got compliments on the clothes you were wearing? Most people won't think about that, all right? If I got more compliments on the days I had blue on, that might be a color that my audience would resonate with me. If it's black. Now you take that into what's your favorite color. Put the two together and try it for 30 days.
That's how I came up with my color was orange. A lot of people like that orange on me. And every time I got compliments on, wow, you look really good in that color. And it just really generated with that. And so that's how I built my brand and logo and so on and so forth is based on those colors. Well, part of that though, too, that people get mixed up in is that somebody will say, well, blue's the color you need to use because it's trusting, or green's the color you need to use because it has to do with money, And I understand those pieces, but like you said, Tim, it's a matter of what feels right for you, what works for you, what your audience likes, and that's how you're going to really build your brand.
Can I tell you, for years, my colors on my website were brown. Because that's
Really?
that's what Cynthia created, and it made the look of what she created that went with the brand we were going with at the time.
Yeah.
I hate brown. I hate the color brown. I
So
really do. I mean, and I still have some of those logos. Yeah.
Because I got a brown.
Oh, it looks black in here, but still, I mean, it's not. It's like most people are like, well, wait a minute, you hate the color brown, but I was trying things out.
Yeah,
I was adjusting, and basically the idea, I went with the brand brown worked better. I personally, blue and green are two of my favorite colors. I actually like blue and red together really good, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, this is something that a lot of entrepreneurs really, really struggle with, and especially when you're told you got to be in social media, you got to do your blog, you got to do all these other things. You've got to have a website. You got to have Dennis from China.
Dennis from China. I have not seen Dennis in a long time, man. I met him at my very first Craig Dustwalk conference. I met Dennis at.
Wow.
Been friends with him ever since. Yeah. So, and I know he's in China now.
Thanks for listening in. I appreciate it.
We have a listener around the world, ladies and gentlemen.
We're international.
We're international. I interviewed a girl from Northern Ireland yesterday.
Nice. I bet she had the best accent. I love.
She did. She was so cute.
They always ask the question. The Irish are always asking the question. I mean, that's a hard one. If you think about it, and you're an actor and you're trying to come up with this, you're playing a part. Because I used to do voices. Because
like Robin Williams, I do voices. Oh, no,
at one time, I wanted to be an actress, but so trying to do the Irish was really hard for me. But the more you listen to them, they do a lot of things as a question. It's always a question.
No, she was talking about you know what I mean, things, and it was really interesting though. I loved interviewing her because first of all, she was a very good looking lady. All right, so I'm here to stare at this good looking lady for an hour who's talking in a foreign accent. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you that little does something for Timmy there, but anyway.
You're talking about me, right?
Well, I like redheads too, so there's the other thing. We know. I mean, come on. We know I like redheads. I'm married to one. Yeah.
Redheads are more sassy. We have more fun. I'm just saying. We have more fun than blondes. I'm just saying.
Well, I used to always tell this joke about redheads.
Oh, let's hear it.
You sure you want to hear it?
Go for it. I've heard the blonde jokes. I've heard them all.
I don't even think I have coins here to be able to do it because I usually have to have coins here to do it, and I don't even have any up at my desk anymore. Let me use I have all right, so I have 2 guitar picks and a poker chip. So we're going to use this. Let's put the 3 of these up there and let's pretend this is the blonde.
Got
this is the brunette.
Got it.
And this is the redhead.
Got it.
So all 3 of them are on the desk. And I come up and I say to somebody, I said, pick up the blonde. Pick them up. Hold it next to your head. Does that feel like the first time you had sex? Nope, doesn't. Nope, it doesn't. Okay, put it down. Try the brunette. Pick up the brunette, put it next to your head. Does that feel like the first time you had sex? Nope. Put it down. Try the redhead. They're pretty fiery. Does that feel like the first time you had sex? No. Okay. Pick up all 3. All 3 in hand, right? Oh, I dropped the blonde. Shake them around. Feel like the first time you had sex?
With a lot of lotion.
This is not an R-rated show. I'm sorry.
We went there again. I'm just saying. Yes, we went there again. We've warned you ahead of time several times. We went there again.
Anyway, let's see what else is Dennis saying here. All right. So I'll watch a few minutes. It's after midnight there. So thank you on holiday with the Great Wall of China.
We appreciate that.
So let's get back to this branding topic because there is something here you had in our notes for today talking about because we covered the colors and the logos, right? The imagery.
Yep.
I always have done this too, where basically I drew out the concept I wanted, and I had my artist then say, okay, this is the concept I want, work with it. All right. Simple, easy marketing logo with the check mark. Actually, I didn't do anything on that. Cynthia Lay did that one for me originally. And basically I just said, Cynthia, just create something that makes simple, easy marketing make sense. And she did with the green check mark. And then I went in and we tweaked the green check mark to look like the green check mark that we used to do with this Blab gimmick we did. And because I was known as the green check mark guy in Blab. So, but originally it was like, oh, just spell this out to make it simple. I can't remember the girl who lives up there in California too, that was in Craig's group for a long time, did this one for me, the blog and video con.
Oh, the logo.
Yeah, she was doing it for like $100. I can't remember her name though. I mean, I remember her face.
Yeah,
but,
I think I remember her.
Yeah. She's really good. Basically, I gave her the idea. She says, well, what are you looking for? I said, number one, I want something that says blog words and something that says video. So she took the messaging bubble and the video play button and then put them into the words blog and video con.
Which is perfect.
Literally that there is, she gave me 3 renditions of that. That one there, we tweaked something to switch it to that. And I forget what the tweak was, but that logo has not changed since we created it in 2018.
Yeah.
Whereas Simple Easy Marketing one has been changed 3 times already, and it's only a year old.
Well, believe it or not, my logo.
You're up top. Yeah, it's right up on yours. It's directly above you on
right
my
up there that I came up with.
Yeah.
It's the tree, if you notice, because we're growing your business online, and it has the W, which is the WordPress logo, because that's what we utilize for the most part is WordPress. So it says exactly kind of what we do, all in a nutshell. So that if you kind of look at it without the KG website designs and so forth, it kind of says what it does.
But with yours, I want to have a question, and this is something very important for our members to think about. You have the WordPress logo inside your logo.
Yes, I do.
Does WordPress have that logo trademarked?
You know what? I checked into that, and you can utilize it in a lot of their things because they want you to advertise WordPress. They want you to get more people to go to WordPress. They want you to because that's a free advertisement for them.
It is. But in some cases, it's not the case when you're using someone else's logo. For instance, all right, like we were talking about rock bands earlier. My neighbor has a Billy Idol tribute band. He can't use Billy Idol's logo in his logo.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's a good question, but I know that a lot of people utilize WordPress in a lot of their stuff. They utilize the logo.
So yeah, WordPress is a very unique thing, and that's why I asked if you checked it, because yours is unique. But there are people out there, for instance, I love Eddie Van Halen's guitar. It's why I have it on my thing here. If I took and put that paint scheme into my stuff, whoever owns the rights to that can come after me, because really that's their trademark. In other words, don't use someone else's logo or someone else's property in your logo that you don't own the rights to. All right. Or you don't have permission to use. Yours, I did because I knew it was a specific situation, and it was about WordPress. WordPress is a little bit different than, say, Eddie Van Halen. All right. Eddie Van Halen's not going to give me permission to use his logo as part of my logo. That's important branding. When you're branding, it's got to be you and not, just because you distribute, something for somebody doesn't mean you could have the rights to use their logo in your logo.
That's true. It's a good point. It's a very good point.
So,
I mean, WordPress is getting free advertising.
They are. Really, they are. Which brought into our last topic in that is you have to go through several renditions before you find the perfect fit. Yeah. I love that because I personally have gone through not just logo, but brands before I found the brand that I have now. Yeah. Right. Including that right there was my first logo done in 2011 or 2010. And I that's my original laptop. I just have the laptop there. so nobody will ever take it off me. That's the last thing. Anyway.
But I mean, like I said, it's something that you have to work on, but it's a work in progress, just like your website is, and just like your business is. It's a work in progress, and it's going to change over the years. I mean, you may find that something works for you right now, but then later down the road, you're doing something totally different, or you're bringing in a lot different services or products or whatever the case may be, and now it's going to change. So always a work in progress.
Cool. Well, do you want to go in and do your tip right now, or do you want me to do my tip now? First, we'll do our tip before we go to the next subject.
You go ahead and do your tip, and then we'll go to the next subject.
All right. So let me guys give you, and I'll actually do this, give Katrina a break to powder her nose or whatever, so I can give my tip of the week. She's still there listening, and she can talk, but I'll do this for her as well. Guys, I was listening to this thing this week. I'm in a guy's group called John Limbacher, and we were talking about your Google business page. All right. Basically, if someone went and Googled my page, if you went and Googled Tim Gillette Media, all right, it gives this whole side thing about my business, which is a business profile that Google sets up. And one of the things into it that was talked about is you can put in updates or give information. And someone said, well, I put my blog posts in there, and said, well, and then we got into the talk about what a blog post was. I personally have done all of my blog posts, and this is my tip this week. I write the outline first, and then I create the blog post. I try to make the outline by itself make sense. Someplace like that, or that Google business page, I would then put my outline there, or my LinkedIn page, I would put my outline there, and then say, for more information, go here, to where they could get the advanced features on your website, not on the public forum. All right. So maybe give your outline, as in, here's my tips on your Facebook, your Twitter, whatever it is, and say, for more information, go to, and that's where you send them to your page. And that is a great way to build lead magnets. And it's a great way for you to create content, because you always are creating outlines, and then you just fill in the details of your outline to make a blog post. How's that for a tip of the week?
Good tip. Good tip.
Yeah.
Nice job.
I know. I worked hard on that.
Nice job. Nice job. So I thought this was a good topic, because a lot of times this is something that I kind of struggle with too, and I'm sure a lot of other people struggle with, is, do you really feel like you're not being heard?
Huh?
Yeah. I'm sorry, what'd you say? Did you say something? I didn't hear you.
What'd you say? Huh? I can't.
But what I found was interesting is I read this article, and basically there are two types of listeners. There's the inductive listener and there's the deductive listener. So the inductive listener needs to get all of the background up first. They need to figure out the what, the how, the why, the whole works. Where the deductive listener, they just want you to get to the point. Just get to the point. Don't tell me the background. So for instance, it's my husband's like that. He wants to just get to the point. I'll start saying, oh, the guys are coming over and they're going to paint the outside, and then they're going to do this, and then they're going to do that. And then they said that this is going to cost this much. And he'll go, whoa, wait. Just tell me how much, when they're going to be here, and when they're going to be done. Okay. They're going to be here and then da. Now my sister's the opposite. She needs to know all the background. Why are they coming? When are they coming? What color is it? What is it? So based on what person you're speaking with depends on how you're going to be heard. And the key is you've got to ask questions of them to find out what listener they are. So if they go into a lot of background and detail, okay, they're an inductive listener. So I need to give them the background and all of that up front. If they just get to the point, hi, this is blah, 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 and I would do this. Or like you ask them a question, they say, yes, no, it's this or that. They're a deductive listener and they like to get to the point, and you don't want to go into all the background. And they claim that when you learn how and who you're listening to, you can be heard, because now they're going to listen to you more closely than, I'm sorry, what did you say? Or look at you with that glazed over eye and going, can we get to the point now?
Yeah, I want to get to the point.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just depends on who you're talking to. And
Have you ever seen the movie Cutting Edge?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
I'm trying to think who the actor was in that, and he's gone on to do a couple other things that were. But anyway, it was an ice skating story from the early '90s, and yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now I know which one you're talking about. Now that you talk about it, yes. I just didn't
All right,
recognize.
yeah, and like they have the short program and the long program.
Yes.
All
exactly.
right, and he's talking to her. Why can't you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Why do we have to do? Why do we have to wait for the short program? Why can't we just get to the whole do it all one night?
Yes.
It's like foreplay.
Yep.
And she's like, huh? Skating, short game, long game.
Because he was a hockey player, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
He was a figure skater where she had a partner, and then they decided to partner the two together. Yeah, I remember that. But
I love that movie, by the way. It was one of my favorite movies.
Great movie, because the dynamics between the two of them, and how he was like, I'm a hockey player. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to throw her? What? Where am I supposed to throw her?
And one of the favorite things in there, because it all goes down to this subject we're talking about, is what you're going to listen to, is one of the pictures he had up on his wall was a picture of him that a newspaper person took of him smelling the ice. Like he was into the ice, and the reason why ice skating went to work for him versus ice hockey was his ice hockey career was kind of finished up, but he loved being on the ice.
Yeah.
He loved the ice. You know what I mean? And that's it. He wanted to.
Yeah, he wanted to experience.
Yeah, he wanted to experience it. That being said, all right, sometimes you're the person who wants to, let's go, get to it. But what do you really love? All right. Yeah. My wife is the person who's got to give me 50 million details that don't matter and go off on 4 tangents. And I really, in my mind, want to go, tell me the 4 points, break down the 4 points on what I want to hear. But I like it. It's my wife. I love my wife like I love the smell of the ice. So just because I'm that way doesn't mean Katrina's that way.
No. But my husband and I are the same way. I mean, I'm the type that I want to go into some background so that you can understand what I'm saying. And my husband's the type, he wants just to the point.
Give me the 4 points. All right. With the ones I'm interested in, you break down.
Exactly. And when I'm talking to him and going into background, he'll say, wait, stop. So what are you trying to say again?
For me, it was always, I loved it when I first met Craig and he talked about bullet points. And I'm like, yeah, give me the bullet points.
Yep. And that goes into business wise too.
Yeah.
That are you writing your content for those listeners as well? Because as readers, they're reading that as well. So there's that content for the scanners, which are the deductive listeners, where they just want the points. They want to scan through. They just want the points. And that's a key thing for your website, is you want to highlight or bold the text so that when a scanner goes through, they get the gist of what you're trying to say without having to read the whole thing. And that's a smart way of building your website.
It's like I was saying earlier about writing the outline. I tried to, and I heard this concept from Frank Kern many years ago, and I'm not good at it, but I'm trying to get good at this, is trying to make, all right, if they read just your outline alone, that says a message.
Yeah.
Then the details in between enrich the message.
Exactly.
All right. So you can kind of reach both people. All right. You know what I mean? And I love reading articles where I read the bullet points, and every now and then I go, oh, wait a minute. I want the details on that bullet point.
And you go back and read it.
And I go back to read the details on that bullet point. Yeah. But so often is we never learn to create the content for both readers.
No. And when you do that, because if you think about it, sales pages we've talked about and lead pages and so on and so forth, they're long. Mm-hmm, they have all this text that goes through, and then you got your button, are you ready to sign up now? And then you got more text you got to go through, and are you ready? So it's this whole pushing point, kind of a squeeze page like they talk about, where you've got your text up front and they're squeezing you down to sign into or buy or whatever the case may be. But there's a lot of text in between. And if you've got scanners, they're not going to read that. They're going to go all the way to the bottom. They're going to find out what's included, bullet point, what they're going to get for their money, and whether they're going to sign up or not. Yeah. That's what they're going to do. They're going to go all the way to the bottom and figure that out. They're not going to read through it. But you've got your other ones that are the inductive listeners, and they're going to read through every single thing. But here's the thing, though. My husband's an inductive listener when it comes to going to the museum or reading articles. He wants to read all of the background and so forth so he can understand what he's looking at. But when you talk to him, he just wants the points. So that's something else. You know, they could be a combination of both depending on what they're digesting.
No, when Gwen and I went to the Harley Museum, when I proposed to her, I like went through the whole museum in 15 minutes and then came back to find the areas I wanted to go through. She was going one thing at a time. And I kept going room to room going, are you done this room yet? You done this room yet?
Yeah. I'm the same way. I look, okay, that's cool. Okay. My husband, he's still reading the first plaque.
Yeah.
It's like, aren't you done yet?
Yeah. Really? Come on, let's go.
So it can be confusing, but you've also got to learn. And like Sherry Trees always talked about bank, knowing who you're talking to. It's very similar to that. But it's only in two, but you're looking at the inductive and the deductive listener. And that's how you get heard, hopefully, that you know who you're talking to. So that's what
part of being heard is are you listening to others?
Yeah. Are you shutting this long enough to open?
Yeah, you know, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth.
For a reason. There is a reason. And I see that a lot. In case, all right, I'm going to say this and Katrina's going to slap me upside the head after I say this. And I'm sure my wife will too when she hears the podcast, but it is why I am surrounded with women. I've learned to listen a lot. Yeah. We do like to talk a lot. I will admit that. We do like to talk a lot. But here's the thing though. I mean, the point of the matter when you're listening to somebody is a lot of times, and I used to be really bad at this, and I'm trying really hard not to. I think I take more time to sit back and listen than I used to. Before it was, oh, I got to say my next point, or oh, I got to say my next point. So you're not really listening to what that person's saying, because all you're thinking about is what you're gonna come back with. What's my comeback? What's my comeback? What's my comeback? So by really truly being present is listening to them and then asking questions or getting more details. That's when you're really listening. Otherwise you're just, yeah. Okay, whatever. All right. Oh, as long as part of you, those people who need websites have no idea. Oh, look at that. Did you see that? Facebook user put this across. Thank you for that. Outsource kind of very nice job. Thank you.
Oh, it's Preston. Preston, you have to go to what was it? Facebook.com/StreamYard and give your thing permission.
Yeah, who are you? We need to see.
His name's Preston, but he's got to give his permissions. Go to is it StreamYard.com/Facebook or Facebook.com or StreamYard.com/Facebook and give them permission to show your name and face.
Yeah, that's
that way we can see your name and face like Dennis here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so before we go into our next subject, all right, I believe you have a website tip of the day.
I do. So my website tip of the day is, this is something that a lot of people forget to do, and that's getting testimonials from your clients. But the big thing is you want to make it easy for them to give you a testimonial, because a lot of times when you ask them to give it to you, it takes a while. They're busy. They don't have the time. So here's a clue. Kind of write it a little bit based on what they told you they liked, and write it out, send it to them, have them look at it and make their own changes or spin on it. And now they can send it back, and voila, you've got that testimonial. Because it's important that people know you've got happy customers. Granted, the other part of that too is you don't want to fill your website with just testimony. It's like, okay, I get it. You're fabulous. People love you. Get it. I get it. So you don't want to go overboard. It's kind of like that fine line of being that happy medium. So I would always recommend too, when you're doing testimonials, pepper them throughout your pages. One here, a little one over there, another one up here. So that way people can see that you've got happy customers, but they're not getting inundated. And you always want to update those with the newest testimonials and the newest clients you've worked with as well. So that's my tip for the week.
On that with testimonials, I used to put them in my presentations.
Yeah.
But I like after each point, I had a testimonial that emphasized that point, as well as someone in my audience who's used it and implemented it and liked how I helped them get them implemented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and by the way, my logo I may be changing thanks to his comment because I thought I went online and they said they could, but I will double check that. Good point. I could just put a globe, but people wouldn't get that in regards to a website. So we'll see.
You should put www.
Yeah.
Can you do 3 W's?
I don't see. I can figure it out. Yeah, 2, 3 W's.
www. Three WordPress things. www.
www. Exactly.
It's like Craig does with his thing he goes, "Is my website is http somebody call it / and he has the picture of / the guitars / yeah.
Slash. Exactly. We should do the same thing. www. Done. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good
World
point.
World War Whopper. Oh no, I don't know. Yeah.
It's a World Wide Web.
Yeah.
www is the World Wide Web. So
you know that the Dallas Cowboys don't have www in front of them, right? There's no way the Dallas Cowboys could put 3 W's together.
You're here all night. Just be sure and pay your waiters and waitresses. Man, I gotta put in the right direction. That way. I swear.
As someone who lives in Dallas, only I could say that. So yeah.
So moving into our next topic is something that I'm sure
Ooh, this is one I know about.
You would know most about, and that's how do you start your own podcast? How do you
just do it?
Going? What do you do?
Just do it.
But what's the equipment you need? What do you need? I mean, what if I'm just a brand new person and I don't have a lot of money and I know I need to get out there and I love talking, so I want to do a podcast. Mm-hmm. What do I do?
I have said this over the years. Number one, write down what you want to do, and then let's find the tools that'll make it work. That has been my number one rule of business for years. So often people go out there with this idea, well, I want to do, so let me go get this. And they have 15 devices and none of them work together. Recently, for instance, I had someone reach out to me about a great business proposition. Great business, not going to put the business down. It does great things. It helps great people. It is a great business model. For me, all right, that business model, while it would be something I could make more money with, would take my business going here and it goes over there. Yeah. All right. And that's what people do with podcasts, with live video, with everything online is they got a path, but someone distracts them and they go this way.
Yeah.
And they try to come back. All right. And for instance, all right, and I'll make my announcement towards the end of the thing about what we're doing my event, but you've got to have a focus in mind for what you're doing. When you are focused on it, all right, it is easy to put the gears together. You're going to start a podcast, number one. Do you know that you're going to commit to it? I have, and I put in 2020, I have added probably another, $2,000 to this desk alone. I did a podcast for years, hundreds of episodes without $2,000 worth of equipment. I did it. You know what I mean? I did it with, yeah. I started out with a $49 microphone from Blue. It was a Snowball. And here's why I use the Snowball, because it picks up the noises around the room, but it does have some sensorability to it. So I could take and plug the Snowball into my laptop. For instance, I did this on several occasions where the Snowball was, and I went on location to broadcast to my radio station. And I did it from here in Dallas, Rick Fairless from Stroker's motorcycle shop. I broadcasted from his office. From the American Eagle Harley Davidson, I broadcasted from their conference room, right? And I put that microphone right in the center of the table, and I was able to interview people at that table with one microphone. Very inexpensive to start. However, most people don't realize that this headphone set, well, not this one, there's a headphone set that comes with like an Apple product that you can get even if you don't have an Apple. And if you plug it into your PC, it actually has the devices with the microphone into it. This one doesn't, and basically that microphone, that's how I started. And that device is what, $20 from an Apple store? All right. And I remember plugging it into my PC and doing it, because that's what I did my first podcast on, was that laptop right there in 2012. And it was very inexpensive to do. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, well, my room is noisy, blah, blah, blah. Well, great. Do it in a closet if you're worried about noise. Dr. Glenn Mia, he did his in a closet for the longest time because he was worried about the noise. It's not about, getting all the fancy and right equipment. Build the habit of podcasting before you spend $2,000 on an upgrade.
And so what would you say is the habit? Once a week?
I think if you're going to start a podcast, you should do it at least once a week.
Once a week, I agree.
At minimum.
I agree. And how long? I mean, some people say 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour.
Interview style, 45 minutes to an hour. All right. If you're doing a solo, just you teaching something or sharing something in a podcast, start with a 10 to 15 minute podcast.
Yeah, because they can only, and oh, please, you want to be animated. You don't. So today.
I am Tim Gillette, and I'm here to talk to you today about being excited in business.
It drives me crazy. Or what drives me crazy is the fake ones. They're on the camera and they're going, and as soon as the camera they see that they're live, they're going, hi, so welcome to la da da. We have so-and-so here that we're going to talk to. It's like, you can tell it's not their personality. You can tell it's not natural. You can tell it's an act. And so you definitely want your authenticity to come through. You want your personality to come through. Yes, you want a little bit, you want to be bubbly, you want to get that momentum going, but it's about you. I mean, like we were talking about branding, it's all about you. You want people to fall in love with you when it comes to the podcast. Mm-hmm. So you have to really have that energy going. Don't you agree?
And you know what I mean? Yeah, I would get the energy going. And here's a tip to get your energy going, guys. If you don't have I have a raising desk, and normally I'm sitting up, all right, because I haven't been feeling well this week. I'm doing everything sitting down, but normally I would raise my desk up and either stand or sit on lean on a stool. Stand and do your couple podcasts. It will raise your energy. If you have to get a box to set your laptop on to do it, do it. All right, because of the fact that it will raise your energy standing up to do it.
Yep.
I'm not kidding you. And that's a beginner's tip that most people ignore, is stand. Your average person, if you can go look at any radio personality in America today, the average one has a high desk. All right. If they show you the video, they're standing.
I agree. I totally agree. They're either standing at a counter, whatever, but they're standing. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and it gives you that more, it really increases your vocal cords and so forth because you're standing as opposed to sitting. So you're going to get a lot more energy as well. Although you have to be careful. A lot of times what I find when I'm standing, I'll shift and I'll move or I'll rock. No. It's like a woman thing. You start. Like
I do too. I do too. The other habit I have is because everything is mounted to my desk, and I have a habit of doing this. And if you notice, my camera, everything shakes because it's mounted to the desk.
Desk, yeah.
All right. As opposed to, all right, I have another light that I was going to put this camera right behind it here on another light pedestal that wasn't to the floor. And I just I haven't done that yet, but I'm probably going to take my secondary camera over here, and eventually I'm probably going to move it up here and put it up on a floor piece. So no matter what I do with my desk, it's covered. All right. Covered, yeah. But the standing idea is something that'll raise your energy. All right. And I noticed we have in there, it's like, you know what I mean? Topics, practice makes perfect. Topics. All right. Sit down and write 5 things that I would talk about. And even if you're scared to do a podcast with interviews, do one by yourself first, just to see what it's like. Yeah, you don't have to keep it out there. All right. Because again, your first one, you remember this, your first couple podcasts, hardly anybody's going to see them. It doesn't matter.
And they're probably going to suck, but that's okay. That's okay. Because we all have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And my first lives, they suck too. I mean, it's just the more you do this, the more you feel comfortable in front of the camera, the more you feel comfortable talking. And you also always want to remember, and I'm sure you'd agree with me on this one too, is it's a conversation like you're having a conversation with a friend. You're talking to a friend, you're talking to a potential client, whatever that may be. Imagine that camera is that person. Don't imagine that thousands of people are watching you, because 9 times out of 10, they aren't. So you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to get nervous about it, because 9 times out of 10, you're only going to have a few people watching it up front until you start to get it out there more and you start to get more practice and you really start to get more emphasis on there and you get a following, then, you're going to start to get more of an audience. But I personally think that doing a podcast gets you more of a following much quicker than anything else. That's my personal opinion.
Let me ask you guys. All right. If those of you who are watching us live today, all right, if you have a podcast right now, number one, let us know what your podcast is in the comments. All right. Even if you watch this on the replay, put it in the comments so we can go check out your podcast if you've done one. If not, I want to know if you've not done your own podcast, but you've thought about it, what is the one thing that's holding you back from doing it? Put it in the comments, because even if we don't answer it live here on the show, I'm going to come back and look at these comments on our Facebook pages here. So, I really want to know, what is it that you wish someone knew about podcasts? Okay, we need to do a podcast workshop in Houston again. As soon as we all get back out there, we can fly Katrina in from California and get her some Houston business. Yeah. Preston, Preston, I'm always going to come to Houston because I have friends in the woodlands with a damn nice house I can stay at.
Preston has a picture. Woohoo!
Yeah, he actually fixed it. We told him how to fix it, and he did. So,
good job, Preston.
And we're not the top experts in podcasting. I can get you a million experts in podcasting, but we wanted to bring it up as a subject because it is becoming a hot topic right now. And there are going to be a million people out there who are going to talk about podcasting. Just like when I started blogging, guys, everybody used to always talk about this idea of, well, don't go on WordPress.com. You got to get WordPress.org and you got to be self-hosted and you've got to have this plugin and you got to have that plugin. And I watched people spend thousands of dollars and then do nothing with it.
Yep.
Whereas they could have spent 2 years of building the habit on WordPress.com for free and then transferred after they had a habit, they had an audience, all right, they had a way to actually pay for it. Then they could have had someone like Katrina build a website, transfer everything from WordPress.com to the self-hosted website and move it over. And now you're ready for it. And I said in the very beginning, many times I spoke on this and I said, start on WordPress.com for free. You can do it today. And I have in the Dallas area, one of the guys who leads the top WordPress, I think he's the top WordPress meetup group in the country. I mean, it's got a very successful WordPress group. And when I said that, he came up and he goes, I 100% agree. And I'm a WordPress guy. He's like, most people go out there and they spend so much money going down a place. And podcasting is the biggest area because it's the hottest thing right now. Everybody will spend all of this money on products and worried about their microphone and the stand and the lighting and the camera. And they're $2,000. They're $2,000 down the hole. All right. And they're like, man, I've got no money to buy food this week.
Or they're like, this isn't working. I don't get it.
Yeah. And then when you tell them to do that, they're going to curse you out.
Yes.
That Katrina Garcia told me to get all this. Man, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
No, I
she screwed me over.
Yep. Yeah. I get it. Yep. Yeah. Totally agree. You have to, and the whole success of it is to do it. Just like with social media. You just got to do it. And are we all guilty of that? I'm guilty of that too, because when you're busy and you're dealing with stuff and you don't have the time to put it together, but the key thing though there is scheduling it out so that way you've got it on your calendar. I mean, our podcast is done every Friday. It's on the calendar. It's done at the same time.
When we first come up with the idea, didn't we it was like almost 2 weeks before we scheduled the first one we said, we're going to do this. And it was 2.5 weeks before we could pick a date to start.
Yep, exactly. And then we didn't even do topics up front. We were trying to figure out, what is this going to look like? Is it going to be business? Is it going to be just what's it going to be? And so then we started going through and coming up with 5 topics and then 2 tips from both of us. Mm-hmm.
So, and we're not, I'm sure we're not done transforming this show, but like we started it, but we started this. What are we really invested into this right now, Katrina? Let's be honest with our audience. I got, I think $20 into this.
I've invested time. more than anything.
Yeah.
I've just invested time by coming up with the topics and investigating it. And it's just stuff that and here's the thing, if you don't know what topics to come up with, here's what I've done. I love looking through, it's called Flipboard, and it's just a platform that takes all the news across everything, CNN, Fox, Post, whatever. It's everywhere. And then I go through and I see what articles I think would be interesting to talk about that I think other people might want to hear, or I wanted to hear. And so I put those together, and then I put the points that we're going to talk about based on that particular article. That's what we come up with. It's that easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and again, I mean, it's doing the simple things up front, not putting a $50 million investment into something that you don't know if it's going to make you $10 yet. All right. To which, all right. I know we got 5 minutes left in this show. I wanted to bring out my announcement that I've decided what we're doing for Blog and VideoCon this year. Can we finish up our show with that today?
Yes. Tell us all about it. Tell us.
November 5th and 6th is our normal date. We were normally going to do our 3-day event, which would be November 4th, 5th, and 6th. Instead, we are going to do November 6th as our Blog and VideoCon. However, there is a VIP day on November 5th. So basically, it's a one-day event, but there's a VIP. So if you've bought a VIP ticket to it, you get the VIP Mastermind Day. All right. And if you didn't, you can still upgrade and get the VIP Mastermind Day. Both days include and come with a small lunch. We're probably going to get pizzas and stuff, but we've got a small hotel, a small location. We are only letting the room can fit. I think we said it can fit like 50 or 60. We're only going to let 40 in. That's our limit, is only 40, because we're still going to try to give people space who want space.
Yeah.
All right. We chose to do it this way because we found a smaller hotel that basically our outlay to be actually do this event is not going to put me in the bank in the hole. Yeah. It's going to help me still keep some of what's left in my bank account. But anyway, This is exactly what we were saying in podcasting. Stop trying to, I got to build it big, and you've got no way to support it. And that's what we basically, I said, I had a conversation with my coach about it this week. And I said, I got an opportunity. I mean, I've cut my costs down to, I can do it for about $3,500 and keep doing it the way I've been doing it. But there's a chance at $3,500 this year, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make that money back this year. What do I do? And I said, I got another option. And I ran it by him. And I said, this option we're doing. And he said, Tim, and it's Craig, so we know. So Tim, if I could go back to that, I wouldn't a heartbeat right now. It's less worries. And I'm like, okay, you help me. Made up my mind. That's how I'm going to do it. It'll be in Louisville, Texas. The first time I've ever done an event in Louisville, by the way. I don't think I've ever spoken in Louisville, which is a suburb of Dallas. But this concept is going to be, it's just like we're saying here, it's an event that I can create an experience for people without breaking the bank.
And I think a lot of people think too with events that they want these big, huge events with 500 or more in the seats. And I personally think the smaller events, you get a hell of a lot more content. You get a lot more one-on-one. You get a lot more opportunities to ask questions and really get what you need from it. Because if you're in a group of 500 people, let's face it, you're not going to have time for questions. Nope. It's all going to be talk, teach. And then you might be able to talk to that person afterwards and ask questions, but you got to get in line with everybody else. Yep. So I really personally feel that smaller events are a much better way to go than the big events.
Yeah. And we may be moving to smaller events only from now on. We may, because of the pandemic, we may. So we're still doing a virtual event every month. So, which Katrina, you've spoken on it quite a lot, and we appreciate it.
Yeah. So, but I think it's a great opportunity is do the small event. Don't worry about the big event.
Yep. So we've come to the top of the hour, Katrina.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Let me bring this up. You can tell them about you and where they get a hold of you and what you can do for them.
What we do is we help you build your website so that you can make more money, build the leads, and grow your business. And we're with KG Website Designs, and you can get us here at kgwebsitedesigns.com, or you can contact me at Katrina It's kgarcia@kgwebsitedesigns.com. We're available.
I'm available. So,
And Tim, tell us about you.
hey guys, I'm Tim Gillette. All right. Tim Gillette Media. We do online events and in-person events about online marketing, taking it from a blog, podcast, or video. All right. Taking it to the next step so that you can actually reach your customers, take it to the next level, and make the sales. Get the job done, ladies and gentlemen. Make it so they can find you, get to know you, and buy from you faster. Simple, easy marketing. My name's Tim Gillette. I have an event called Simple, Easy Events. So go check that out. We got one coming up on August 14th, but we have them going on every month. You can go check them out. So in the meantime, this is Tim and Katrina's show. We haven't come up with an official name. It's just been the Gillette Garcia Gillette Hour, whatever you want. And this is episode 8 in the books.
Yay.
All
And
right.
we're going to have a logo and everything else soon. So get you out. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Yep. In the meantime, guys, we will see you guys next week. Have a great week.
Yep. We're out.